All right, good afternoon. It's a pleasure here to have another in our series of webinars talking about our accredited programs in the College of Engineering. And my name is Tony Garcia. I'm the Associate Dean of Academics in the College of Engineering and George W. Luckey Professor of Chemical Engineering. And what we do in these webinars is we talk to faculty, and faculty present actually on each program. Today's program is Civil Engineering Technology. So we have a co-host who will actually lead you through the rest of the webinar, make presentations, introduce the other people that will be talking, and then we'll hopefully have some chance for students to ask questions. In the College of Engineering, one of the key things that we like to do is understand how to serve students and also serve industry needs. And so we have many accredited programs, and we also provide a good value for the education. So we're one of the top value schools of engineering in the country, ranked 12th last year out of 500. And partly it's not just the cost, but it's also the quality of the instruction, quality of the experience, and also the array of accredited programs. And so we have 13 accredited programs in our college. So we thought a webinar series would be really good so we could record those and also share with students so that you can get a little bit deeper dive into what our accredited programs are about. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Professor Tapia, who will lead you the rest of the way, and I will mute my mic.
Hey everybody, my name is John Ross Tapia. I am an associate professor in the Civil Engineering Technology department or program in the Engineering Technology and Surveying Engineering department. I think I got that right. So I'd like to introduce Kenny Stevens. He is a professor in Civil Engineering Technology. We also have Garrett Reed, who is a recent graduate of our program. And we have Elena Solis, who is also actually a current student. And we have Caitlin Fergali, who's possibly online. I know she's trying to work and listen in as well. So what I'd like to do, my kind of agenda is I kind of want to share a couple of videos. I wasn't able to connect all of them, but I have 2 videos of some current students and recent graduates of what they've done. Then I'm going to give a quick PowerPoint presentation. And then I'm going to let Mr. Kenny Stevens talk about the program. And then I'm going to have each Garrett and Selena share a few things as well. So I will start this video. All right, here we go.
Why civil engineering technology? Because I get to see it on paper and I get to build it.
Hi, my name is J.R. Tarin. I am a senior project engineer for Fortis Construction. I work on the Facebook data center site in Los Lunas, New Mexico. I graduated in December of 2018 with an emphasis in construction technology. My favorite assignment by far was our capstone project, where we were able to design an addition to the NMSU campus that would benefit the students of NMSU. I was able to utilize all of the structural design, land development, and green building skills that I was taught during my journey through the CET program. I was also the vice president of our student chapter of the Associated General Contractors Club, which allowed me to compete in the ASC bidding competition in Reno, Nevada. The CET program grew my creative decision-making, leadership, and engineering mindset that has set me apart within my company. I took and passed the FE exam in my final semester. I encourage you to join the CET program in NMSU if you are interested in learning to solve real-world problems in an environment that encourages discussion instead of lecture. Thank you.
Clay Bob Stearns. I'm a junior here at New Mexico State in the CET department. This past summer I had the opportunity to work with an engineering firm in Albuquerque called WSP. Through this internship I had the opportunity to work on several large-scale roadway projects all the way from Shiprock, even some down in Roswell. I think some of my favorite parts of working with this internship was actually getting to hands-on work with the office, work on the computers, and designing these roadways and having a big part of the final product there. Also at New Mexico State, I'm involved in the American Society of General Contractors, which is a fantastic organization for civil engineers to be included in, as well as I am also on the New Mexico State bass fishing team. Some cool things about the CET program is it prepares students extremely well going into internships. The company I worked for was extremely impressed with how far along I was with my schoolwork, being just a sophomore coming into that job. So I think that's something to be said about our CET program, about how well our staff is able to educate our students and really prepare us for what we're getting into once we become engineers.
Hello, Concepcion Mendoza from Antony, New Mexico, and I work for Wansa Construction out of Fargo, North Dakota. Why did I choose civil engineering technology, and why do I still love it? Simply because I get to apply my knowledge, my skills in the field. Right now, I oversee the quality on multiple projects. I get to train field engineers, and I get to see them grow into new positions. And most of all, the part that I like the most is the fact that I get to view a design, see a design on paper, and see it go from there to an actual structure. That is very satisfying for me after all these years. I still love my career, and I wouldn't choose a different one. NMSU gave me all the skills, knowledge that I needed, and I'm still here, and I love it.
Hello everyone, my name is Albert Flores. I'm a civil engineering technology major at New Mexico State University. I am also the president of the Associated General Contractors. This past summer, I interned with Sun Construction over at Paso, Texas. The project I was assigned to was the Eastside Regional Park, which consisted of an indoor 50-meter competition pool, a gymnasium, a multi-purpose, an indoor track, and an outdoor aquatic park with a pro flow and a water slide. If it wasn't for the competition I did with AGC over at Reno, I wouldn't have the great experience I had with Sun Construction as an intern. To me, the CET program is a great program. The program equips you with the knowledge and critical thinking that you need for your future as an engineer in the real world. And not just that, but you also create a strong relationship with your professors like John Tapia and Kenny Stevens. A relationship that lasts long after you graduate, and no matter what you need help on, the professors in the CET program are always willing to step aside and help you succeed. Thank you.
So I've got one more video to share.
Hi, I'm Maddie Sokol. I graduated from the New Mexico State University CET program back in 2015. Since then, I went on to obtain my master's in construction management and began working as a project engineer for a general contractor here in New Mexico. The CET program at New Mexico State was what really set me up for success in education as well as in my professional career. The environment in the CET program was always down to earth, super friendly, and a lot of the students and professors and staff members all just kind of became family for me there. Going through the program, I met a lot of people. I participated in a lot of programs such as the Steel Bridge for the ASCE group. And I also learned a lot, basic engineering for life. It was one of the best programs and really gave me confidence and the knowledge base to succeed in life. And I have the CET program to thank for that.
So it's cool to see some of our students, and I appreciate them taking the time to share those videos with us, share the videos with our future students. So just a quick presentation, just to go over a few things about our program. If you've seen a lot of the pictures in the videos and our presentation here, we try to do a lot of field trips. We like to get out, show the students what's happening in the real world. So that's one of the big things that we try and do. So why CET? Well, our curriculum gives students an opportunity with real world application to take classes with that, like site land development, and other classes that you may not be able to take in some of the other disciplines. We're actually really wanting to get you workforce ready. We have you take a drafting 109 class, which is just fundamental drafting, and then we have you take a civil drafting class. That has opened doors for some of our students that may be going into design. All of us, all the professors in the program, we all have real world experience. So that kind of helps us in our teaching and to be able to share with you what we've done in our past. And it truly is where the cool people hang out, right? If you look at Kenny Stevens, he's the coolest dude ever. So kind of a graph here, figure that I wanted to show. I did take this off the ASME website and I modified it to fit our CET and CE descriptions. And what's really cool about NMSU is we have not only civil engineering, but we have civil engineering technology. So you have a choice. If you look at the blue and the green, that's typically what our civil engineering technology majors like to go into. Estimation, construction inspection, testing, surveying, all the way up to complex design. Now it gets smaller there because not a lot of our students go there, but there are some that do. If you look at the civil engineering, that's the yellow and the green. In fact, that's what I graduated with, was civil engineering from NMSU. They're more theoretical based, more on the right-hand side, but does not mean that they can't do estimation, construction construction inspection. Both of our programs are ABET accredited, which is hugely important for all of us in order to become professionally licensed. So some of our misconceptions: we're only technicians. We can't get licensed professionally. Our job outlook is dim, but we're not real engineers. All of those are false. All right, our students graduate with an engineering degree. They can get professionally licensed, and the job outlook is not dim. There are a lot of jobs out there with our infrastructure being rebuilt. And I just kind of use this Bureau of Labor Statistics just to kind of show you guys that the median pay is about $87,000. Should have a bachelor's degree. The number of jobs in 2018 is a good number, and we're also growing 6% as fast as average. One thing I'd like to show there is how to become a civil engineer. And just to read the first sentence, civil engineers need a bachelor's degree in civil engineering or one of its specialties, or in civil engineering technology. So I think that's important to show that our students are civil engineers and can become professionally licensed. All of our graduates in the past 5 years have found employment after graduation. Kenny and I were talking about that. We can't find a person who has not found employment. So that's kind of important for us. And it just kind of repeats itself, but real applied aspect in the world of civil engineering. We do have optional concentrations. We have construction, transportation, water, wastewater, and renewable energy. We have advanced construction. We have cost estimating, schedule and management. We have courses in all of these to help you in the real world once you get out there. We have the renewable energy technologies. That's solar energy, wind, water, and that's kind of what Concepcion, she's working with Wanzek. It's kind of her specialty right now. Transportation technology, intelligent transportation systems, again, cost estimating and scheduling, just to name a few. There's that cool guy on the right-hand side, Kenny Stevens, with his water distillers, studying the fundamentals of environmental engineering, solid, hazardous waste, and system design. So this is the cool stuff. Our students really get involved. Many of our students, and if you heard most of the students that talked, they're AGC members, Steel Bridge competition, Aggies Without Limits. They've gone, and Selena is part of that as well. Maybe she can talk a little bit about that. Some of the AGC students, they build the best field for the competitions of the best competition, boosting engineering, science, and technology. They've helped with Habitat for Humanity. So our students truly get involved with their community here in town and actually around the world. So kind of some cool pictures, some Aggies Without Limits. I'm hoping Kenny and Selena can talk about that a little bit. Our Reno competition, so we have a lot of students in the bottom who've gone before, students who have accepted scholarships just because they were part of the membership and were able to achieve that scholarship. Concrete Canoe, Kenny can also talk about the Concrete Canoe here in a little bit. And here's some of our graduates have gone, just to name a few. That's a lot of people who are hiring our students. And if you can see on that list, it's not just construction. We have students who go into design, Don Ana County, City of Las Cruces, New Mexico Department of Transportation, and we also have Arizona Department of Transportation. So a lot of big companies, government agencies do like to hire our students. And because our students have been so good, many of these companies come back to hire the students that are graduating from our program. I'm not going to go through this, but this is just kind of a quick flow chart looking thing. The real big thing I like to put on this was it is about 120 credit hours, depending on where you come in with your math, to graduate with your CET degree. So it is, 120 I think is doable in 4 years. So I'm going to stop my presentation there. And I would like, if Kenny Stevens, if you have a few words you'd like to say.
Thanks, John Ross. I just wanted to add one little high point about the student organizations. Professor Tapia hit the high points of all the students, or most of the students, being involved in a student organization. Just a quick story, because some of the people involved are on the screen right here. There was a little kid that was at the Otero County Fair, which is in Alamogordo, and was trying to go from where the rides were to where the sheep judging was, and they couldn't get from the rides to the sheep judging without walking in the street, and they almost got hit with a car. So they complained to their uncle about they needed a bridge. That uncle knew a guy who was in Aggies Without Limits, a CET major, who complained about the bridge and wouldn't it be neat if we could help out with the bridge. So a few people in Aggies Without Limits came up with some ideas, and then we talked to Garrett, because Garrett's in AGC and was the president, and he knows how to put things together, and he drafted it up. And I was telling him before the meeting started that the steel for that bridge just got delivered to Alamogordo, and Selena is going to be going in the next couple weekends to start putting that bridge together so that the kids that want to get from the carnival rides to the sheep judging don't have to walk in the street. So that's the kind of thing that the students in the CET program do. So I just want to throw that out there because that's a really cool part of it. I'm out.
So Garrett, you want to talk a little bit about the program?
I'm Garrett Reed. I was the 2019-2020 AGC president, and I graduated this May. I came in, I'm from Wyoming, and I transferred over here. I got my associates up here and then transferred to New Mexico State in 2017. So the transfer process was pretty painless. I got to know Dr. Zhang really well, and he helped me along quite a bit, along with John and Kenny. They really helped quite a bit also. Really good guys to go to if you need any help. Like some of the other guys were saying that were former graduates, being career ready. I work for a pipeline maintenance company right now. And I mean, from day one, I was able to walk on and throw my ideas in the hat and make good decisions. I mean, day one, they handed me a piece of paper and a scale, and they said, you should know how to read this, and had me start marking things out. So definitely career ready. The bridge, that was a good senior project. I'm really happy that they're moving forward on it, and I'd hope to make it down there and see what it looks like when it's done. Another big thing too is just, I guess, like after curricular involvement. I mean, I was in AGC, and my biggest regret in school was not getting into it earlier. That was one of the funnest things I did. And I mean, real world experience of Kiewit and seeing how the big boys play. It was really cool to go to Reno and learn about that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Garrett. Miss Elena, what do you got for us?
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Selena. I'm sorry, I have the mask. I'm working at the office. So I'm a senior at the moment. I am going for civil engineering technology, as you all know. I have one semester left. I was supposed to graduate in the 4 years, but thankfully I got a co-op opportunity with the civil department, and I did bridge inspection this last semester, so I'll be graduating this semester. Throughout my college career, thankfully I've had Kenny and John, who at first they were the ones who got me more involved into civil engineering technology. I started working with engineering technology department before I even transferred into the program. With them, I was I guess pushed forward, and I was pushed into trying to get more involved in everything. I was able to join the Aggies Without Limits organization, as they mentioned. And with Aggies Without Limits, we have done a lot of projects during the summer and during the little breaks that we have. We do what they call chain gangs. We go and help out the community doing small items like going and helping them rake their leaves, or going with them and pick up stuff that they need help with. I also got to travel to Puerto Rico with them and rebuild the bridge over there because of the hurricanes and everything. Hopefully it's still standing because of all the weather crazy stuff that has been happening over there. I also was part of AGC with Garrett, and thankfully I was able to go with them and go compete over there in Reno. I was able to talk to a lot of different companies, and everybody seemed really interested with our university. Then throughout my career here, based on my relationships with all the professors, I was able to get in contact with a lot of different companies. And let's say one of the professors, Ahmed Ilakshir, he actually got me an opportunity to go into a conference with Kiewit before all of this started. And I was able to fly to Nebraska, all paid for. I went over there. It was a conference. It was all for women in construction. And it was really awesome. And I actually got to talk and interview and everything. And hopefully I have an offer as soon as I graduate. With that also, I was able to intern this summer after my co-op with the bridge inspection program with Granite Construction, and that was pretty awesome. I was able to use all the things that I learned in my cost estimating classes and my construction management classes to know what they were actually working on. I learned a few things, of course, but I could say that it was a good grounds. There were good grounds to go into, and I think that's pretty much it. There's a lot to learn from the professors and seek advice.
I think what I'd like to input there as well is I think our students are who make our program. We get great students that come into our program. They work hard, they're dedicated, and they enjoy it. I feel like and I think Maddie kind of summed it up a little bit. I do feel like we're a family. When you come to us, I feel like we'll do anything to help you out. We're ready to bend our arms backwards if it's going to help a student out for their success. I know that Kenny's been around just a little while, and he's helped out probably more students than anybody in the New Mexico State University. He's a key guy in our program. He's a key guy in our department, and he's a key guy in the College of Engineering. If you something that's happening on campus, I almost guarantee you Kenny's probably somehow part of that, what's going on. Caitlin, I don't know if you're there or if you're able to chime in a little bit. If not, we can kind of move on.
Hi, I'm Caitlin
Caitlin.
Frugoli. I am also at work. I just wanted to say that I transferred from Arrowhead Park Early College High School, and that process was pretty painless as well. And so I did my first entire year in the CET department last year, And that was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. Really, I was very surprised at the tight-knit community with all of the professors and just everyone in the department. Everyone was really friendly, eager to help, and that really made it a lot easier to communicate. And as somebody who sometimes struggles with asking for help, I definitely had little to no hesitation asking John Tapia or Kenny for help, anyone, even our department head, Dr. Zhang. It was a crazy experience and really wonderful, especially because I'm younger than pretty much most people in the department and in my year, but somehow all of these different elements about where I came from or what my background was, that didn't seem to matter so much. What mattered is that we were all working towards some kind of goal and willing to help each other, and just really cultivating that community was amazing. And a little sad now that I can't necessarily be in the classroom as often as I would like to, and but it's really, the CET department has really provided me a lot of excellent skills. I just recently got a new job, that's why I'm here. And honestly, some of the things that I've learned in the past 2 semesters, I've already been able to sort of use to have conversations about projects, to work on projects, and it's made me feel a lot more comfortable in the position that I have now. And so I'm really grateful to the CET department, and hopefully I'll be able to participate more in some of those student organizations. But yeah, I think pretty much everything has been said. So thank you.
So Garrett, Elena, Caitlin, I appreciate you guys helping us talk about the CET program. Garrett, Selena, or Caitlin, what could have been some of your questions prior to coming to our department? What might have things that weighed on your mind prior to joining the program?
One of mine, probably looking back, would have been like, how tough is like the math going to be? I wasn't really confident in math, my whole life. And I think that's something, looking back, I could have like maybe asked some questions with some older kids, and how bad is it really? But once I got into it and started doing it, and I think just being around everybody willing to help, and my confidence grew. And now I don't even look twice at stuff like that, so I think that's something that scares a lot of kids with any STEM engineering, is the math. And looking back, maybe that would have been a question I would have asked more to other kids.
Great. How about you, Selena?
I say the thing that I would question, like before coming, I'd say it was how much was expected of us. So like in the other department where I was first, I felt like there was so much expected from a freshman in that position. And I feel like once I started, I didn't ask the question. I was technically like, kind of pushed so that I could talk to them. And I felt like after I talked to them, like to John and to Kenny and to everybody in the department, I felt like it was more, it's not what is expected, it's more like, it's more what they want you to learn. Like it's not, you're not supposed to know everything, you're supposed to learn it. That's the reason why we're here. And I feel like it was very well like said whenever they first were introducing me to the program.
Awesome. Caitlin, you have anything?
I would say that 2 things really. One was that I was kind of nervous about who would the professors be, and what would they be like, because a lot of times in high school, a lot of the teachers or other people that you would talk to, they would say things like, well, you know, most professors are going to be pretty dismissive of you and your needs, and you know, you're kind of going to be on your own, and that was kind of discouraging. But then when I actually got to the department and we kind of got into the role of the first semester and everything, I felt so comfortable. And, you know, like I said, everybody was so attentive, professors, you know, people in administration, everyone alike was so helpful and so amazing. And then the second thing was also people would often, you know, say, why would you pick CET? You know, you can't be a real engineer if you know, get a CET degree. They're not teaching you real engineering, and that kind of scared me at first too. But then, you know, something just said, well, just stick with it. This is your pathway that you chose. You started this in high school and you can continue on with it. And you know what? The worst that can happen is that you decide you don't like it and want to go to CE. And so far that has not happened yet. I learned that, you know, what's required of somebody with a CET degree to become a professional engineer. And, you know, that didn't seem impossible or, you know, as scary as everybody else who probably doesn't know that much about CET as they were making it sound. So, you know, just my first year at NMSU in the CET department has really made it much clearer to me that, you know, CET is a wonderful, wonderful program, wonderful choice. And, you know, as was shared earlier in the presentation, you definitely can become an engineer. And there's not a whole lot different from CE. And so, yeah, I hope that kind of, you know, I hope that makes other people feel more comfortable with their choice. It's a good program. Thank you.
And you may not know this, but we are a very applied program where many of our classes do have labs that go with the actual class. That way you can get the mathematic computational stuff, but then you get to go into the lab and touch things and break things and see what the water flow is and crush concrete and break steel and do all those kinds of things. Kenny, do you have anything else to offer, to talk about?
I did want to say thank you to John Ross for not introducing me as one of the engineers that constructed the pyramids in Egypt, because sometimes he says that. So it's been a great presentation. I've learned a lot myself. I want to be a CET.
So do we have any questions or comments or concerns on our program? I know I'm good. I know I answered all the questions during this presentation. Our students answered all these questions. Our students are way better than I am. But feel free to ask any question that you have or maybe a concern that you have. Kenny and I are willing to Zoom with you. Hopefully we get back to the face-to-face stuff where we'll meet you on campus, discuss our program, show you around the lab, show you around our building. We do have some other great resources. We have the Eloy Tortoise Learning Community where you can go and you can get some free tutoring. And right now it's on Zoom or face-to-face. So we've got some great resources, not only in the CET program, but the ETSE and the College of Engineering.
Since we've got Crystal and Amelia, could we hear a quick couple minutes about what you guys are thinking about and what made you think about the ET program?
Well, I want to go into like civil engineering with like focus on environmental engineering with it. And I was just kind of curious, like if the CTE program like had a similar, I guess, program to that. Because I'm not too sure, like I don't know much about the technical stuff of it.
You said environmental, Amelia? Yeah, I mean, besides the degree, you can specialize in one of 4 concentrations, and I suppose 2 that would apply to the environmental would be the renewable energy concentration, which of course brings in a lot of environmental aspects. As part of that, there's green building, sustainable construction, and again, renewable energy. And then the water wastewater concentration, which of course, that's probably the major aspect of the environmental world, is how are we providing clean water, and what do we do with it after we're done with it? So those two aspects of it are an integral part of the program, and you can specialize in either one of those if that's something you're interested in. Did that answer your question, kinda?
Yeah, it did. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool.
And Kenny, help me out. The student who went through the CT program and then went and got his master's in environmental. Who was that? Joel?
Yeah, from Silver City. He works for one of the mining companies now in Silver City in their environment department. If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you his name. Anyway.
Yeah, so he got his bachelor's, and then he had to do a few other things, and he was able to go get his master's in environmental engineering. So there are those routes that we can help you out with. There's some finagling and doing some other things, taking a few other classes that you'll need to get into that master's program. All right, Crystal,
How
Kenny
about you,
asked you the
Crystal?
question.
What are you thinking about? What made you interested in the engineering technology department?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. So hi, my name is Crystal. I actually was going for school for informational technology communication, and I actually stopped going to school because I got a job working for Microsoft Business 365. So I was a contractor, and I did some cool things, and I was helping businesses all over the world, doing all that kind of stuff, learning the ins and outs of all these other technology things. But then I had like a little side of me is like, oh, maybe I should try to go for engineering. And my fiance actually graduated from NMSU, and he was a chemical engineer, and I kind of like went all over the place trying to think, what do I really want to do? So I decided maybe I'll give it a try, see if I like this area. I was going to go for ITE instead of ITC, give myself a challenge. I really don't like math, you know. If I can find my easy way out, I usually try to do. But now that I'm just a mom, and I was like, I might as well go back to school. I'm going to short myself out, so I want to be an engineer. And I like the whole project roadway kind of stuff, and I was like, maybe this is my call. So I thought I'd see what it's about.
That's great. That's awesome. And how old is that baby?
He's 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. 3 months, so.
And you can't just say you're just a mom, because that's like the biggest job in the world. I'm lucky to have the wife I have, because she's the best mom ever.
I'm like, now he's being a real world engineer, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go be a real world engineer too now, so. Excellent.
Amelia, Crystal, you guys have any other questions, or does anybody have anything else to say?
No, not really. Well, actually, I want to know more about your technology side, because like, what is more into your technology? You were talking about how people go a little bit further in, because that's where more I lean towards, that I was kind of interested in.
I'm gonna let you take that, Kenny.
So Crystal, just hearing you talk about what you've been doing when you say technology, you're talking more like IT stuff, like information technology, that kind of thing?
I did a lot of IT. Yeah, that's what I was before I decided to go back to school. So I was working for Microsoft Business 365, like doing SharePoint, doing all the ins and outs of all that kind of stuff. But I was like, I want to be an engineer. I want to make blueprints. I want to go do something. I want to do something with construction.
So the cool thing about engineering technology, the engineering technology and surveying engineering department, is we have 6 different programs that are vastly interconnected but vastly different. So there's civil, mechanical, electronics and computers, information engineering technology, ICT, and surveying, which is now they call it geomatics. But anyway, the cool thing is you're in one department and you can see all this different stuff. So when you say technology in the construction world, I would say it's more, you know, how do you draft something up? There's this cool new thing called, it's not so new, and Garrett can help me out here, called BIM, Building Information Modeling, where it's 4-dimensional drafting. It's where, okay, you've got the building and it's in 3 dimensions, but then you can also see what it looks like over time. So the blueprint changes as you advance on the project. So first it's just the outline of it, and then the concrete all of a sudden appears, and then the walls start to appear, and then the wiring starts to appear, and then the heating and ventilation starts to appear. So those kind of things are always changing, always being updated. I don't know if that answered the question, but when you say technology and engineering, those are some of the things I think about.
Yeah, that kind of helped answer my questions. Thank you. I appreciate it.
The only thing I see, John, that you put some contact information there for people that want more information, and it's good. It'll be on the recording as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So feel free to email myself or Kenny. That might be the best way to get a hold of us right now, since we're not in our offices. Email, and we can set up a Zoom conference or anything else that we can do to show you the buildings. We might be able to get in there and show you some things as well.
And I guess I'll also interject that I think it's important that you as students can see that what we had talked about was that we have programs, we have degree programs, we have individual projects, student organizations, and we have a learning community that's trying to tie in all of the things that are both in the classroom when it comes to tutoring, the societies and the leadership in the societies interact with the learning communities so that students can actually talk across societies. And so I think that builds community as well. And then this year, we instituted with the National Science Foundation grant ability to get cohorts of students involved in 3 different activities that are professionally related. So we call it adult learning. So we're trying to combine experience learning, classroom learning, and adult learning. And what do we mean by adult learning? We mean you choose what you want to do, and you talk to industry. So we just started this process. We have the first cohort of 157 students. We hope to have around 100 to 200 students each year. So chances are you will be involved in it. And what you have is the ability to do learn something on your own. Engineers have to constantly learn. I have to learn after 40 years of being an engineer, a PhD, and it doesn't matter. Technology changes, as you heard from Kenny. So we have to keep up with the times. So there are a number of certificates that we help students get, and we have mentors from industry. We pay for your exam, and now you have a certificate in Python, or you have a certificate in safety engineering. So these are things that students may choose to do for a variety of reasons, looking at possibilities of internship or even just to get a better job if they're working currently. Another area is entrepreneurship. I'm really big in entrepreneurship. I think we, as engineers, we are curious, but we also want to create for society. As you heard from Kenny, students are involved in creating for society right off the bat with the bridge, with Aggies Without Limits. I also think no matter who you are as an engineering, even if you're a professor or administrator, you should still be creating. So the entrepreneurship one is one that students can select to do that. It's up to you. It's up to the students. And then the third one are design projects. And so the cohort of faculty that are involved in this, we're just coming up with creative kind of design projects and competitions. And the way this will work as it's starting out this year, we're going to match the students with a variety of industry mentors. Some of them will probably be people like Garrett, for example, who are recent alums. Some of them are people who have been in industry for 20, 30 years. That way you can, as an adult learner, you can guide your own learning, get mentorship, support from industry folks, and get a little bit more balance and see what engineering is about. Engineering technology, and information science and information technology. So that's my pitch to what we do in the College of Engineering. And so I think the most important thing is to get a degree, getting that piece of paper, getting that FE exam. All those pieces of paper that have some official stamp on them are really the goal. How you round out your career and how you round out your learning is something we'll work with you now and then through the rest of your career, because I don't think we can never stop learning as engineers. So I'll turn it back over to Professor Tapia.
All right, thank you. And I appreciate Amelia and Crystal for showing up today. If you do have any questions, my email and Kenny Stevens' email is in the group Zoom chat. Feel free to message us at any time. We'll get back to you. Garrett, Elena, Caitlin, I really appreciate you guys showing up, helping us discuss what our cool program is all about. If there's nothing else, I'd like to say thank you everybody for being here. and have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. Already Wednesday, the second. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.